Welcome to adv.photos. In this video I'm going to be giving my initial impressions about Fujifilm's brand spanking new X-T3. Fantastic little mirrorless camera, the successor to the X-T2, which I actually took to Iceland this time last year actually, and that performed excellently, so has a lot to live up to. So far, Lightroom still doesn't support the RAW files, so I've had to shoot in RAW and JPEG, and I've only been able to manipulate the JPEGs. I could convert the RAWs into TIFF files using Fuji's own conversion software, but I'd rather wait for the Adobe update because TIFF files are huge and these RAW files aren't as big. So I went for a walk along the river where I live, and about an hour and a half, 2 hour walk just after sunrise. Got some very good photos, I have to say. There's graffiti on a bridge, dew on a flower, dew on sunflowers, and of course the river itself. And yes, I have to say I'm very impressed so far. I've only been able to process the JPEGs, as I said, in Lightroom, and they've come out quite incredible, I have to say. It's amazing how much manipulation you can do just on a JPEG file straight out of the camera. I can't wait to edit the full RAW files and just see how much more I can do with them. It's very good, the camera so far. I will say image stabilization, it doesn't have image stabilization, and I didn't use a stabilized lens for my shots. So if you're thinking of buying a camera, do bear that in mind. If image stabilization is on your must-have, then the X-T3 isn't for you. The XH1 will be the only stabilized camera so far in the Fuji range, though their new 100 megapixel medium format camera is supposed to be stabilized, but that's not coming out till 2019. So back to the X-T3. Right, I used the 16-55 f2.8 lens. Beast of a lens, I have to say. Big chunky lens. Heavy actually for a lens of its dimensions, but strapped onto the X-T3, I had it over my shoulder, sort of crossways, like a satchel in the old days, and I have to say I hardly felt the weight at all. Surprisingly, didn't feel tired on the shoulders or anything, and this is after a few weeks earlier, well, months earlier. Back in August, I took an XH1 to Silverstone, and that is heavy camera. I even used the same lens I've got on here, and it just made it feel like I was carrying a tank on my shoulder. But X-T3 is just so light. It's just wonderful camera, and it's retro styling as well with all the knobs on top. I just love it. It makes photography fun, and that's, if it's not fun, then what are you doing it for? If you're doing it just to make money, there are other things you can do just to make money. You don't have to be a photographer to make money. People who go into photography to make money, I don't see the point in that. I mean, I'd love to make money from my photography, but I don't care if I don't, because I'm doing photography and I like it. Now, I should say I haven't tested the video functions. This is actually the first time I've used it, because I'm filming this on my X-T3 right now, so I have absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out. I have shot a short video earlier as well, so we'll have to see. I'm using an external microphone, not the internal one, mainly because I've got an external microphone, I want to use it. Now, shooting video, it does have the same video functions as the XH1, and they have sort of retrofitted previous versions of the X series cameras through firmware. This has the most up-to-date version of the firmware, though there's supposed to be another version coming out already, so that would be 2 in the space of less than a month. That will be video centric. the firmware update, the new one. There's nothing in there for us stills photographer types. That came out in the previous one. Now I know a lot of people have gone on about, oh, the cameras, some people have had problems with the camera freezing on them, and so forth. Not me. Didn't happen to me once. And battery life, now because the camera starts up so quickly, I just turn it off between shots. I'll just walk along, see something I want to do, turn it on, boom, thank you very much, yep, done, turn it off. So I shot what, nearly 135, 140 photos, and I think I lost 1 bar on the battery. So people are going, oh, battery life's rubbish, battery life's rubbish. It probably is if you're shooting video, because it's using up the juice all the time. So you could get the battery booster, battery grip thing, but the best thing about this is I don't need it to get all the functionalities. The previous versions, if you wanted a headphone jack, you had to have the booster grip. You don't have to have it this time, which is great. Both card slots are UHS 2 SD, which is also good, which means it's high speed, and it comes in various colours. I mean, I've got the silver one, mainly because the black ones are out of stock, believe it or not. This was 2 days after it came onto the market. That tells you how popular the camera is. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll post a link in the bottom, in the description, to I've got a slideshow video that I've already got up on YouTube for this for the shots I've taken. I'll also leave a link to my website, obviously, and to the 500 pics gallery that all of the same photos are in. So if you want to look at them individually, you can have a look at them individually and make comments if you want to, or not. Make comments below if you want. Just one thing, people stop commenting about my video skills when it comes to these. I'm not a videographer, I'm a photographer, and I don't have an external screen, so I can't see how over or underexposed this is. I'm just doing it on the fly. Please bear that in mind, and no Canon and Nikon fanboys having a go at me for what I said about the Nikon and Canon cameras. Get a life. Fuji fans. It is an awesome camera, makes it fun.